What is up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing here a deck profile for a Zacian V deck. This is definitely something that is pure as it is, I guess, or at least my particular take on pure variant of a Zacian V deck. But with that being said, there are definitely going to be some interesting techs in this particular deck, so I hope you guys will at least humor me on that. But without further ado, let's just get started. But I would like to remind you guys to drop a like, share, comment, and consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video. That way you could be notified for any future videos that might come out. But with that being said, let's begin. Starting off, I'm going to be playing here 2 copies of Zacian. That might seem a bit weird to you guys because a pure Zacian V deck typically plays 4 copies, right? Well, we are going to be playing here a substitute for the other 2 Zacian Vs. We'll get to it later, but I think you guys already know what the Zacian V does. Intrepid Sword is an amazing ability, and even Brave Blade is an amazing attack as well. But being that it's the main attacker, you're essentially just switching off the Zacian Vs against each other and dealing out damage easily onto your opponents, knocking out their Pokemon without trouble. So the 2 cards I actually have as a replacement or alternative is 2 copies of Ditto V. Since the Zacians could easily go to the grave or the discard pile via discards or any kind of cards of the such, the Ditto Vs could allow us to reuse those Zacian Vs, which is definitely fantastic because the Ditto Vs kind of act as pseudo Zacian Vs without having you to actually bring out the Zacian immediately as well. You could keep these in the hand and use it whenever you actually need to, or keep these in a bench as well. Your opponents can't really guess. There are also some other Pokemon that we could also switch into with the Ditto Vs, and that gives us a bit more flexibility aside from us just locking into 2 more copies of Zacian V. Of course, being a metal deck, we're definitely going to be playing here the Bronzong engine. Great card to at least manipulate the energy whenever we need to. It's really good, especially for a pure Zacian deck, because you do need the energy to attack. So after you use your Brave Blade for one of your Zacians, you can't attack anymore. So you want to transfer all that energy to your new Zacian that just acted or moved into the active zone, so Bronzong just does the job because it's already most likely on the bench ready to go. Finally, for some supporting Pokemon, I'm going to be playing here Crobat V, drawing more cards. We have Eldegoss V as well, potentially returning itself back into the deck, and we also have here Galarian Zigzagoon, just great ways to ping off some damage from your opponent. I'm playing 2 copies of it because I really want to emphasize it. We don't have any other attackers. Zacian V is the only attacker in this deck. As a result, we want to also have some supplementary damage via the Zigzagoons. Now moving on to some searching cards here, we have Quick Ball, Level Ball, and the Evolution Incense. The Incense obviously adds our Bronzong. The Level Ball can add anything that's below 90, so that could be the Metang, or I think it was the Bronzer and the Zigzagoons, which are all under 90, and that's definitely fantastic. Quick Ball is pretty self-explanatory, easily adding us the Zacian Vs that we need. Next up, for a bit of control of the board, we're going to be playing so many cards here. 4 Scoop Up Nets just to work with our Zigzagoons. We have Switches and also Escape Rope and Air Balloon to switch out our Zacian Vs whenever we actually need to in the appropriate manner. So with that being said, this is something I highly emphasize. It's well worth it. It won't clog up the deck in any kind of way. For some nice supporting cards, we have here Power Pad to reuse our supporters, Tool Scrapper getting rid of all those annoying tools of course, and Ordinary Rod allowing us to reuse certain resources such as energy and Pokemon. Being that this is a Zacian deck, we want to attach energy very quickly. Metal sources definitely work out, and of course Rusted Sword also boosts up our main attacker in the actual deck. So you're dealing 220 with the Brave Blade. You're dealing here an extra 30, which is 250, plus the Zigzagoons, which will deal you 10 damage. But with the Scoop Up Nets, you could potentially deal an extra 20 as well, so maybe about 270, 280 damage at once. Definitely very nice. It wouldn't be a stretch to actually assume that you could easily just 1 turn kill an actual ADP. Next up for supporters, we're going to be playing here 2 Boss's Orders, controlling the opponent's board, getting out whatever Pokemon we could easily knock out. So you force them to bring out their Dedenne GX, you force them to bring out their Crobat Vs. They're weak enough to be knocked out with 1 hit. So with that being said, the Boss's Orders is definitely fantastic. We also want to disrupt the opponent and prevent them from having a lot of cards in their hand. So the Marnie is definitely going to be really nice as well. And finally, of course, we're playing 4 copies here of Professor's Research, backed by the 1 copy of Capture Energy. Just think it's really nice for the deck. We're also going to be playing here 2 copies of Coding Energy, just because in case there's a fire deck out there, we could play this and help us out. Of course, with that being said, fire is going to be rotated out soon. A lot of the greater cards for fire decks will be rotated out, and that means that those decks will pretty much be gone and we will no longer have to worry about weakness. But for now, we're playing Coding Energy. Afterwards, you guys would switch it out for something else. And finally, we're going to be playing here 8 copies of the basic Metal Energy. This is a Zacian V deck, there's no excuse to play any less. You're going to be going through this deck really quickly and you want to get to your energy. As a result, the Zacian V definitely really needs the 8 energy. So this was pretty much it for today's deck profile, so I hope you guys have fun with this particular build. Definitely let me know what you think about it, but other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you all next time.